Have you ever felt that you were living your life in judgment, constantly defending all the options you make, every word you say, all the dreams you dare make the voice, as if you were walking around the world using armor that should protect it, but really weighs you with every step? Today, let's explore one of the most liberating truths ever written by Waldo Emerson. Nothing can come to you when you trust yourself. But here's the question that keeps millions of people awakened at night. What happens when you do not? Imagine this moment. You're about to talk about a meeting, share an idea that has been burning inside you for weeks. Your heart begins to run. Your palms are sweaty. And then that familiar voice comes in, this voice that has been your mate for years, whispering, "What if they think you're stupid? What if you are wrong? What if they judge him?" Then you are silent. You have swallowed your truth and see someone else share a similar idea 10 minutes after thunderous applause. Look familiar? How many times have you been quiet for fear of making a mistake? How many opportunities did you let out for your fingers because you doubted the very essence of who you are? How many times have you withdrew to the shadows, not because you didn't have the capacity, but because you wondered if you deserved to get into the light? If this message has played something on you, subscribe now on the channel. Here you will find the silence that the world denies you and the strength he tried to erase. Every week, a new step to rely on who you really are. This is what I call to live in the mode of defense. It is a life where you are constantly seeking validation from other people, desperately avoiding judgment and measuring its value with how much approval you can collect from the world around you. It's tiring, isn't it? Living how this transforms you into a person you barely recognize, someone who walks through life looking aside, measuring every step, disconnected from your own will, your own power, your own magnificent truth. Imagine a person walking down a long corridor, but instead of looking at the future toward her destination, she is constantly looking left and right, checking what others think, adjusting the pace to match the rhythm of everyone else, getting lost in the multitude of expectations. This is what happens when we abandon the self-keen. We made weird to ourselves, lost in a maze of other people's opinions, other people's fears, other people's limitations. But what if I told you that there is another way? What if I showed you that one of America's greatest philosophers discovered such a powerful secret that it can transform not only how you feel about yourself, but how completely moves around the world? Waldo Emerson was not just a writer or thinker. He was a revolutionary who understood something deep about human nature, something that most people spend their entire lives trying to discover. He understood that the biggest tragedy is not failing something you tried, but never tries anything because you didn't trust yourself enough to try. When Emerson wrote about autorito, he was not talking about ego or arrogance or thinking that you are better than everyone else. He was talking about something much deeper, much more sacred. He was talking about essence, about this unshakable core within you who know your truth, even when the world is shouting contradictions in your ear. Listen to these words and let it sink into your soul. Trust in yourself. Every heart vibrates with that truth. Do you hear that? All heart, including yours. It is not a matter of being perfect or having all the answers. It is a matter of recognizing that within you is a more accurate compass than any external orientation system, more reliable than any expert opinion, more powerful than the approval of any crowd. Emerson believed that the true strength of a person does not come from compliance with what others expect, but from being authentically, without excuses. He wrote, "The strength of a man is in being himself, not because his parents wanted him to be, not who society demands, not because his fears say it is safe, but because it is the most complete and more true expression of its own nature." This is what it means to live from the inside out. Most people live out. They look at the world, see what is acceptable, what is rewarded, what is praised, and then shape to fit these external molds. But Emerson discovered something revolutionary. The world is not his guide. External noise, constant conversation of opinions, expectations, and judgments, these are not reliable sources of truth about who you are or what you are capable of. Your inner center, that silent voice that speaks when you are still enough to hear, this is your only reliable master. It is the voice that knows your deepest dreams before you have the courage to false them. It is the voice that feels the attraction toward certain paths before your logical mind can explain why. It is the voice that warns you when something is not right, even when everyone is telling you that it is perfect. But how do you develop this self-confidence? How do you strengthen this inner voice when it has been whispered for almost nothing for years of doubt and external validation in search of search? Let you share with you 3 transformative tools that can rebuild your relationship with yourself and create an unshakable basis of inner trust. Write in the comments now. I trust me. Nothing hits me. If you have gotten here, this is not just a video, it is a turning point. Leave this phrase as a public commitment to its inner strength. Don't write for me. Write for you. Declare to the world and yourself that you are ready to live from the inside out. The first tool is what I call deep inner listening. Every morning, before checking your phone, before reading the news, before contaminating your internal landscape untouched with the outdoor entrance chaos, give yourself the gift of silence. Find a quiet space and ask yourself the questions. What do I really feel now? What do I think about the challenges I'm facing? What do I want, not what I think I should want, but what do I really want? Write down what comes up without editing, without judging, without trying to make it look reasonable or acceptable to anyone. This is your raw truth, your not filtered inner wisdom speaking. The more you practice this, the clearer this voice becomes, and the more you will trust her to guide it through difficult decisions. Here is a powerful technique to strengthen this practice. Create what I call reliable mantra. Every morning, look in the mirror and say these words, "My truth is enough." Say until you feel you resonate in your bones. It's truth, not a perfect version of the truth, not a truth that everyone will love, but its authentic, honest, and real truth is enough to guide it through the challenges you face today. The second tool is to develop what I call authentic presence shield. It is about learning to appear in difficult situations like exactly who you are, without excuses, without playing papers designed to please other people or avoid conflict. Think about the last challenging conversation you faced. Perhaps it was with his boss, his partner, a family member. Did you appear like yourself, or appeared as you thought they wanted you to be? Authentic presence means that you do not apologize for existing. You do not shrink to make others more comfortable. You do not hide your opinions to avoid disagreements. You speak your truth with kindness, but without commitment. You hear others without getting lost from your perspectives. You remain firm in your values while remaining open to learning and growth. Start practicing this with small personal acts every day. Perhaps it is expressing a preference different from your friends. Perhaps it is sharing an opinion that goes against popular thinking. Perhaps it is setting a limit that you are afraid to define. Each time you choose authenticity instead of acceptance, you are building your self-calm muscle. The third tool is actively rebuilding confidence with oneself through recognition and celebration. Every night, write down 3 decisions you made that day based on your own intuition rather than external pressure. They do not need to be big decisions. Maybe you chose to eat something because your body was wishing, not because it was on your diet plan. You may have taken a different route to work because something inside you said, "Try that way." You may have spoken in a conversation because your inner voice said it matters. Recognition is powerful because it shows that you are already trusting yourself more than you think. Look at your life and identify the times when you trust yourself brought you peace, brought opportunities, approached who you should be. Perhaps he was choosing a career that looked right, although others questioned him. Maybe she was ending a relationship that seemed good on paper, but she felt wrong in her heart. Maybe he was moving to a new city because something was calling you there. These were not accidents. These were moments when you heard your inner wisdom and that guided you well. The more you recognize these moments, the more confidence you will have in your ability to navigate future challenges of your own center than fear or external expectations. Learn to value silence as a source of answers. In our noisy world, we forget that the deepest ideas usually do not come from more information, but more still. When you are facing a difficult decision, instead of looking for advice immediately from others or frantically researching options, try to be silent first. Ask your question, and then listen. Trust that the right answer will emerge from quiet space within you. Now I want you to try something with me. Close my eyes for a moment, and let me guide it through a powerful viewing that will help you incorporate this self-impression that we are exploring. Imagine yourself walking through a chaotic and noisy city. The cars are honking, people are shouting, the construction noise is everywhere. All around them seem frantic, stressed, reactive to all sound and disturbances. But something remarkable is happening to you. When you keep walking, you realize that all these external sounds are starting to decrease, not because they are really getting silent, but because you are learning to adjust them. Your breathing remains stable and calm. Your rhythm is consistent and intentional. You are not reacting to the chaos around you. You are not fighting it or trying to control it. You are simply being yourself, moving from your own center, guided by your own inner compass. People bump into you, but you don't lose their balance. Voices try to draw your attention in different directions, but you don't have to answer all calls. You are not being rude or disconnected. You are simply being selective about what your energy and attention deserves. You are driving your own experience rather than motivated by external circumstances. This is how the self-active feels in action. It is not a matter of being perfect or having all the answers. It is about having an unshakable confidence in its ability to navigate what arises in a place of inner wisdom rather than external validation. When you trust yourself, criticism doesn't devastate you because you know it's just information, not a verdict about your value. When you trust yourself, opportunities do not terrorize you because you know you have the internal features to deal with the challenges they bring. When you trust yourself, other people's opinions tell you, but don't control it because you have your own reliable source of guidance. Nothing can come to you when you walk your truth. The world will continue to shouting their demands, their expectations, their fears, their limitations. People will continue to project their insecurities in you, trying to make it as small and scared as they are. The systems will continue to press you to conform, to touch it safely, to color inside the lines you have drawn. But you do not need to answer each call. You don't have to defend all options. You do not need to justify your existence or apologize for taking up space in this world. When you are rooted in self-keen, when you are connected to this unshakable core of the truth within you, external noise becomes just that. The noise you can recognize without being controlled by it. This does not mean that you become arrogant or closed. In fact, the opposite is true. When you trust yourself, you are more open to learning and growing because you are not threatened by new information or different perspectives. You can deeply listen to others without getting lost in their points of view. You can change your mind without feeling that you are cheating. You can admit errors without your own ruins. Self-confidence gives you the freedom to be totally human, make mistakes and learn from them, take risks and deal with any results to emerge, to speak your truth even when your voice shakes, to pursue your dreams, even when others can't see the vision. Remember this moment. Remember what it is like to consider the possibility of having everything you need inside you to navigate this beautiful, challenging, and complicated life. Return to this video whenever you forget who you are, whenever the noise of the world is so loud that you cannot hear your own inner voice, whenever you begin to doubt your ability to trust yourself. This is your place of silence, your place of meeting with your own power, your place of strength. Mark this moment in your heart. Let it be your anchor when storms of doubts try to keep it away from your center. You have an older wisdom than your fears, more powerful than your doubts, more reliable than any external authority. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust that the same force that cultivates seed flowers and guides birds for thousands of kilometers during migration lives within you too, ready to guide it toward everything you should become. Nothing can come to you when you remember this truth and have the courage to live from it.